recruitment starts with you. What steps are you taking today to earn an athletic scholarship tomorrow? Welcome back, squad. This is your college recruitment and athletic scholarship coach, Kito Delgado, and I'm glad you're tuning in yet again for Full Ride, powered by URECRUITU. And over the last few episodes, you've heard me talk, you've heard me outline some winning plays when it comes to college recruitment. And today we have a special guest. His name is Harrison Fernandez, and Harrison is a current scholarship athlete. He plays free safety for Pace University. It's a Division II school. He's entering his sophomore year, and he was gracious enough to come on and do a few things. Number one, in addition to being a great student athlete, he is also an entrepreneur. And he, along with a teammate, founded Student Athlete. Student Athlete. So we talk about what went into Student Athlete, their mission. So I really want to encourage you at the end of this episode, you definitely want to visit their website, and that is studentathlete.co. Studentathlete.co. And then you can also give them a follow on Instagram. It's pretty simple. It is Student Athlete CO. Student Athlete CO. But it's a great brand that they are building, really wanting to give back to student athletes. And he's going to do a great job explaining that during this episode. So you want to tune into that. But also, Harrison does a great job talking about why he chose to attend a Division II school. You see, Harrison had a Division I scholarship offer, and so many student athletes, I know it, they get so caught up in the pursuit of Division I and the hype that comes with it that they choose D1 over D2 or D3 opportunities that may be better fits. Well, Harrison outlines why he chose a D2 school. He talks about the resources that are available to him at school. And then he also outlines a great winning play for all of my student athletes, and it involves social media. So you want to make sure you stay to the end to hear this episode. I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to get right to the interview. But don't forget, if you like this episode, if it's helpful to you, give us that assist and make sure you share it with all of your families of student athletes. But without further ado, here is Harrison Fernandez. Harrison, my man, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Kito. I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for hopping on. And as I share with you, I just want to again say to our listeners, Harrison, he's joining us. He is a current sophomore at Pace University. He's their starting free safety. And I was just saying before we hopped down that when I was a sophomore in college, a couple of days before camp, I wasn't doing podcast episodes or interviews, and more importantly, I wasn't running a business on the side. So we have a special guest because Harrison not only is the epitome of a student athlete, but he's also doing some great stuff. So what I want to do before we get into the recruiting and really helping out our athletes who are trying to get to where you are, as well as their parents, why don't you talk to us about student athlete? How did that come about, and what is it that you guys are looking to accomplish with it?
Oh man, that's a great question actually, because so many people ask me about how student athlete came about, and what does it stand for and who does it stand behind. But honestly, like when I was finishing up college for my first year, I came I wouldn't say a rough neighborhood, but I come from a neighborhood where it's one of the most densely populated city in America. So it's either we go left or we go right. And I had the opportunity to take it where I wanted to take it with. So when I graduated high school, I had a Division One scholarship and a double A, and then I had a Division Two scholarship. And then, when it was time to decide, I went to a school where I felt that I was valued more as a person than actually as a player. So it actually felt like home for me at a Division Two school, and I was fine with that. So I just want to get that out the way. I'm coming from is like genuine, and like I really stand for what I believe in. So student athlete is a brand. So when I was going back to what I was saying, when I was coming out of my first year of college, I looked back at my community, and I thought about something like being able to empower, being able to use my platform to empower kids in my neighborhood, and like to show them the way that it's possible to get out of Union City. It's possible to get to a Pace University. Like I was in their position at once, and I know what it takes. So when I look back at it, I was like, what is that everyone does, but doesn't really like use it as something to empower themselves. I guess when people hear the word student athlete, they think of it as like something general, but student athlete is so powerful because when you put those two things together, anything is possible, man. So that was just something that, came from me wanting to give back to my community, student athlete. I thought of it as a way to give back, use my platform as a student athlete and give back.
And why don't you just describe, again, I know you just started, I mean, as a end of your freshman year, so you haven't really been at it for too long. So just before we move on, just again, want to really give you an opportunity because I think the mission is awesome. I visited your website and we're going to give our listeners that information. But what is what are some of the services, long picture? What are some of the things you want to do? Some collaborations you may want to have, because maybe there's somebody that may want to reach out to you at some point and network with you. So what are some of the things you want to do?
So, well, I think financial education for anybody really is something that everybody needs, because everybody will eventually own a bank account, own a home. And those are things that, people don't teach. Like they don't really go into emphasis in high school, at least in my high school. And I had to figure this all out on my own going through college, going through college and starting a business and going to the bank and asking them for what type of paperwork. And I had learned all of this on my own. And I feel like there's so many platforms out there that can teach these kind of stuff. So one of our long-term goals for the website is to have financial education powered by EverFi. I don't know if you ever heard it. It's like an educational website where they teach business classes, and like you can get certified in certain areas. And I think that'd be really awesome for kids who will actually feel like they have a certification and they're financially can be financially stable with all the knowledge that they receive on the website, and also a platform where it can be a 24/7 online tutor. So because I know that's pretty hard to find, because when in college I had tutors all over the place. Because we had to mandatory study hall and we had tutors, but in high school I didn't have a tutor. And I know that kids need like help at home, and where I come from, parents are always working, and there's not much, I guess there's not much of a, how do I say it, a connection between the parents and the students, because of I guess so much, like I guess it has to do with a lot of like internet and social media. And I feel like if we can combine the two and actually like use social media as a tool and not just something that we use for as entertainment, that'd be awesome, man. That's really where I see it going.
That's really great, man. And that's and I'll just touch on it because I'm I'm a parent. Me and my wife are raising our daughter, and I'll just say, not that this is our situation, but we definitely know people who are in the situation where part of it, yes, there's a disconnect due to social media, whatever the case may be. But there's also a part of this where you have a lot of single parents, and they may be working 1, 2, 3 jobs at a time, and they're doing everything they possibly can to provide a roof over the children's head, provide them with food and all that stuff. So they're not able now to potentially be a help to them from an education standpoint. So now I think you are really filling a great gap as you build this out, man, because you said it. Athletes, students, kids your age, you guys are on social media. Well, there's an old saying that goes, meet them where they are. So now what you can do is you can use social media and bring education, bring that tutoring service right to them. So that's great. So I commend you, man. I just want to give everybody an opportunity. If you want to learn more about student athlete, go to studentathleteco.com, right? Is it studentathlete.co?
No, let me correct
Excuse
you.
me.
Yeah,
studentathlete.co. Exactly, my bad. Studentathlete.co. And then you can also follow them on Instagram, student athlete, and then CO. You guys on Twitter too?
We're currently building our Twitter, seeing what's up with that, but we're using Instagram since Instagram is what's hot right now. We're trying to use the most tools that we can on Instagram for now.
Absolutely, I love that.
We established ourselves in June of 2018, so it's going to be August tomorrow. So you can see how
quickly you're moving.
How quickly we're moving. Well, I mean, I didn't even see it moving this far, but another component to the brand itself is the clothing. Like we actually came out with student athlete shirts, and the community loves it, man. Everybody's hitting me up for shirts. People are ordering online, and it's just like the design of the shirt is so sleeky and so nice, and people actually are believing that student athlete is a thing, and that brings so much joy to me, man.
That's great. And so now I want to really pivot to helping out, because again, as you know, and again, I agree. I'm thankful that you agreed to do this. A big part of URECRUITU, a big part of the Full Ride podcast is each week we give our high school athletes and our families, parents, a winning play, that really help them take control of the winning process, of the college recruitment process. And one thing I want to, you really caught my attention at the very beginning, which I thought was great. And it really ties into fit, where you said you had a 1AA offer and you had a Division II offer. And working with a lot of families, a lot of them get caught up in the cachet of being able to say, oh, I played Division I football, or I played Division I basketball. So can you talk about, what really went into your decision? Why did you feel as though Division II was a better fit for you?
I mean, that's a question that I've gotten asked a lot, and that I've actually just, kind of shrugged it off and told people hey, it's my decision and this. But honestly, the reason why I chose to go where Division II and not Division I was because, like I said in the beginning, I went somewhere where they actually valued me, where they actually cared for me as a player, where they're going to care about my academics just as much as they cared about me on the field. So academics played a big, big part in school. So and also I don't believe in the hype. I feel that I can make an impact wherever I go. I went to a school that was 0-11 before I got there. So you can see where not believing the hype is something that I stand for, because I went in there with the mindset that I'm going to change this program around, and I'm going to be the person that people look up to in the school. So that was just me. That's just the character that I walk around with, and it's just something that every day I'm building, and people are seeing that I was actually true to what I'm saying about changing the program around. And I think a really big advice for people, for kids themselves. I think there's a great book out there called Athletes Are Brands Too, and I think it's a major read, because athletes need to start carrying themselves like brands. And what I mean by that, they need to start playing for the person beneath the jersey, and not, I'm not saying not to play for your team, but you need to carry yourself like, let's say a Division I school. Because, they, how do I say it? Because when I say, can you elaborate when I mean by carrying ourselves as a brand?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think at the end of the day, and I haven't heard that book, but I love the title At the end of the day, you have to, yes, you're representing a team, you're representing a university, you're representing, you're playing with your coaches and your teammates. But at the end of the day, there are people, at least my definition, that are relying on you back home, your parents, your
Yes.
community,
Yes.
and even
Yes.
most
Yes.
importantly, also, and you're just for yourself. So at the end of the day, it's not being selfish. You just have to understand that you are playing for you. You're playing for yourself, and more importantly, I just think, and I think you're already doing it. Is you use the game. You don't let the game use you. So that's how I would elaborate on that. And I think that was great advice. I'm glad you shared that book, and I'll link that, for our listeners to definitely check it out. I am curious though. So obviously, there's still there's a big time commitment to playing football, even at the Division II level. So what advice would you give? Somebody who, I mean, there are some really fundamental differences between high school football and college football. What's one or two things that you learned as a freshman that you wish that you knew before you went to college, and that you want to share with somebody who's maybe going off to college and about to go on their first camp for their college career?
Definitely. Yes,
or someone who's just trying to get there?
I think I don't got two. I got one.
Okay.
And that one is definitely time management, man. College is everything everything about time management, because regardless if it's Division I, regardless if it's Division II, regardless if it's Division III, regardless if it's junior college, NAIA, they have a schedule for you as a student athlete. And if you're not at those classes at that certain time, and you're not at that practice at that certain time, that's your butt. You know what I mean? So you have to learn how to go to sleep on your own, eat on your own, at a certain time, wake up and go to that class, wake up and go to practice. Like, all those things, it takes discipline. A lot of you, like, if you fully focus on your priorities, you're going to see yourself grow every day. And I say that because every day that I apply time management into my life, there's so many areas that I'm hitting that I didn't know I would be able to hit before. But that's just because I'm using my time wisely now.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it earlier. I think this is great too. So I'll get you out of here soon. But again, because yes, it's college athletics, or is it perfect? No. But I actually just posted a video the day about how student athletes, and this goes back to using the game, don't let the game use you. You are, like you said, you're valued. Coaches, the university, they provide you with a scholarship because they believe in your ability, and they want you to help the team win. And in order to do that, they need to make sure you are eligible to play. So can you, as motivation, if you will, can you talk to these student athletes who maybe they struggle in high school with academics, but now can you talk about the level of support that a lot of these universities provide to student athletes to help them stay on track?
Oh man, it's tremendous, man. It's not even, it's like, it's other students helping, student athletes, because at my school, we have a tutoring center. And from my experience at my school, it's students giving back and being able to sit down countless hours. There's people that will sit down countless hours with you to finish that project and finish that paper. And, there's a writing center, there's a tutoring center, there's a math center. Like, literally the opportunities to win at a university is big. If you choose not to go to that tutoring center, if you choose not to go to the writing center, then, the GPA falls on you.
Yep. And then I'm sure that, go ahead.
No, I was going to.
No, I was just going to say, because in addition to the tutors and writing centers, and I'm sure you guys, have academic advisors, and then even, I know, again, I'm dating myself, but back when I was a freshman in '97, we had mandatory study hall as freshmen.
Yeah.
So
wow.
There are.
I forgot to hit that one. It's mandatory. As a freshman, it's mandatory. And sometimes I would be like, oh man, like, I'm really tired. But that mandatory study hall, I had to do homework because you're gonna have work at all times. How you handle that work, if you're gonna crunch it all in on Sunday or you're gonna manage it throughout the week, you pick. You pick your poison. So
Mhm.
I think that that mandatory study hall as a freshman was great for me because I got to manage out my homework, so I wasn't all like clobbered up at the end of the week. But yeah, man, academic advisors, the tutors, friends, man, there's so many people
Yeah,
that want to help. You just got to look for the help and
absolutely.
endless
Well,
opportunities to
listen
win.
here. Absolutely. So Harrison, listen, I got one more question for you. Again, I just want to thank you for hopping on. Really encourage all of our listeners, go to studentathlete.co to learn more about Harrison's great company. And then also just go over to Pace University, check out the football roster, look for Harrison. What are you, number 34, right?
Number
I think
34, yes.
yep, number 34. Check out my man Harrison and let's root for him this year. But one more question is really, again, I mentioned it before. So many student athletes are trying to get to where you are, right? Get that scholarship, get that full ride, if you will, whether it's at the D1, D2 level. Can you give some high level recruiting advice for them? Maybe they're going through this process as sophomores, as juniors, they're going into their senior year. Just really, a couple of things, some winning plays that you think they would benefit from knowing that helped you get the two
Yeah,
scholarship offers
definitely.
that you got.
Definitely. So I would say start by, putting together your best plays. That's number one. That's how you're gonna get seen. That's how coaches are gonna like your ability of playing sports. And then number two is make sure that those grades are on point, like, and that SAT score is on point. And as far as getting to schools, I think that you shouldn't wait for anybody to contact you. I think you should go out and contact coaches. All their emails are on their websites, and it doesn't hurt to shoot out a coach. Hey, listen, my name is Bob Smith, and I play football or I play soccer at this high school, and here's my GPA, and I'm really interested in your school. What's the worst thing that they can do? They can probably not answer, or they can probably see what you're doing, you see your efforts, and actually contact you and email you. And I've had a lot of coaches email me because I took it upon myself to contact them and show them that I cared about going to the next level and wanting to be there. And also using social media as a great platform that it is. So as a tool, I mean. So a lot of coaches are on Twitter that I've seen, because I was really big into Twitter, but now I'm onto Instagram because the company runs the Instagram and everything on there, so I do a lot of stuff on there. But when I was getting recruited in high school, I would always look for coaches on Twitter. Like, they're there. Like, at least for football, I've seen a lot of baseball coaches. I've seen a lot of soccer coaching. I think every sport is on Twitter just because of the coaches see that kids are on there like a lot, so they also like to see what kids are posting without you even knowing. They'll see what you're posting, what is your what type of person you are, just by your tweets. They can see all of that. So if you learn how to maintain your page to the most professional level that you can as a high school student athlete, then you have a really good shot of getting to the next level.
And that goes right to what you were talking about earlier. It's a great way to end the show because we can tie it into what you said earlier about, athletes can brand themselves, and social media is a great way to brand yourself. And I'll just piggyback this. I'll give my families, this is my winning play for you guys this week, and then we'll sign off. But my winning play is I'm going to, piggyback Harrison and tell you guys to, if you don't have a Twitter account, because that's where the majority of college coaches are at today, start a Twitter account, but make it really obviously professional. Start posting some of your highlights.
It would definitely some of your highlights, definitely your name, the school you attend, the sport you play, your GPA, even your SAT score, that can go on there too, because that's the first thing they click. They go on your page, they see, okay, this kid is, he wants to, some motivational tweets. You can even tweet to a coach and say, hey. So on the platform itself, you can tell everybody, don't be afraid to, tweet because your friends are going to see you reaching out to a coach. No, you're trying to better yourself. So you can actually tweet out to a coach, hey, coach, can you please check out my film? This is my grades, yada, yada, yada. I promise you, if you do that to 100 coaches, at least 20 of them will respond.
Spit that game, Harrison. Spit that game. See, I don't even got to give you all the win and play. Harrison just gave you all the win and play. If y'all ain't listening, then, shame on you. But Harrison, my man, I just want to, again, thank you. I really appreciate your time. Maybe URECRUITU and Student Athlete. We'll do some collaboration again in the future. This is, I feel like, the beginning of our relationship. But I wish you all the best this season. Stay healthy. And I know you're going to keep, doing your thing in the classroom and on the field. So thank you so much. And for all the rest of you, who are absolutely. And to all my families and to that are listening, by now our saying, college recruitment starts with you. What steps are you taking today to earn an athletic scholarship